Freedom fighters, I'm coming back at you with a Labor Day special Manic Monday rant. We recently went on vacation and I was gonna make a few video topics while I was there, but I decided to make it a true vacation and actually just kick back and chill and not worry about making any content or anything, which was nice, to actually disconnect and do that. And I did put, some shorts up and some quick little videos of it, but, none of the long form topics that I wanted to cover, which I'm still going to have to cover some in future videos, but I wanted to tell you about some of the crazy events that happened while we were there. So, we went up to Stone Mountain, Georgia, and, we had some plans to do camping and obviously check out the mountain. And we wanted to hike the mountain, get up top. And I planned on doing videos of that, like a hike video, going up the trail, and then doing some camping and all that stuff, exploring the park. But that didn't all happen, and I'm going to tell you why. But anyway, the camping spots were all packed and filled out. So we were like, you know what, we're just gonna stay at a hotel or somewhere. Or then they did say they had a few options, but they have like a private lake house and some of these other, cabins and stuff to rent. But it was just astronomical, and we were like, we'll just get a hotel or something and stay there. And we quickly found out that that wasn't a good idea. And literally, upon unpacking, it was just after dark. I mean, it was maybe like 9 o'clock or something. We're unpacking our truck, getting into the hotel, and this guy in full ski mask and like a jacket with a hoodie on. Granted, it's 95 degrees, with killer humidity and everything. We're all sweating balls. He comes around the corner, with his hands in his pocket, and to say the least, we'll say my hand um, went towards my hip, and we kind of locked eyes, and I'm pretty sure he got the deal and understood how that was gonna play out. So he kind of just went the other direction and kept walking, and I told everyone about what was going on and people with me. I'm like, man, did you see, what happened and everything? And we were hearing sounds all throughout the night and people coming and going. And we were quickly like, we just need to get out of here and, head on to the next leg of our trip. So we ended up just spending that first day there, which was still cool. I mean, we got to see the mountain and we hung out at the park. And then later that night, they had a firework and drone show. So that was pretty cool. But then we headed up to a private beach house up there. It wasn't quite Myrtle Beach. I mean, I guess it was. It was like North Myrtle or something like that. Um, we were staying up there with a couple friends, and then I mean, we did venture off into like the main area there of Myrtle Beach. We went into the city and see some of the beach shops and stuff like that. And then we decided just to go to the Olive Garden one night because everyone, is familiar. We know what we want or whatnot. And then we come out of the place and this guy's like, oh man, you guys got any money? Like, I need some money. And I never give these people any money. I mean, it's one thing to like, sometimes if they're outside of, somewhere cheap like a McDonald's or whatever, a burger joint or something. And, I'll be like, if you're really, that hard up, like, I'll get you a quick burger or slice of pizza or wherever from somewhere. And if they deny the food, then you're like, you're not really hungry. Like, you're just looking for money to, you know what they're looking for. Um, so I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, I ain't got no money for that. Um, and it amazes me how I always seem to have these people gravitate toward me and stuff. And I've had many of these things, confrontations before. So I'm just like, nah, man. He keeps pressing me, and I'm like, dude, I don't even have money. Like, I just have a card. So It wasn't. He's like, oh, you got any foods or drinks or whatnot? And I'm like, oh, dude, I already packed up at the house. And I'm like, I think I do have a water bottle, so I'm like, I can get you a water bottle. He's like, nah, I don't want no water. He's like, you don't have Coca-Cola or, Mountain Dew, and I'm like, nah, I mean, I didn't. I was like, I literally only have a water bottle. I'm like, you can have one of those if you want. And he's like, man, I just got out of prison. He's like, I need something, and I'm like, sorry, man, but I try to remain unconfrontational with all these people because at the end of the day, if you're ever forced to actually defend yourself and you got all these woke DAs and, all this stuff, I'm like, try to just, stay as calm and unconfrontational as possible. And I'm just like, sorry, man, no, I ain't got nothing. So he moved on, and then I saw him going, to person in the parking lot. He ended up getting into some fight with some dude, and I'm like, see, this is why you just, stay neutral, and even though they're a bother and, all this stuff, you just kind of let it fly. But and basically, the moral of the story was just, I was looking at everything going on, and I'm just like, shit's going bad, and I've had all kinds of crazy shit happen with me in the last couple weeks. It's just like, I had this old Asian lady back into me, which is surprise, surprise, right? Not looking where you're going, just and this has happened multiple times to friends and family of mine, but people just throwing it in reverse and hitting the gas. And it's like, people don't even look, people aren't aware, like they're living in their own world. Um, and I had this recent other experience where I was walking into this store and this Muslim lady came up to me doing her, whole spiel and, hula, 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 and I'm just like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, so I just keep moving and, I'm like, whatever. And she was running some kind of scam or something. She must have purchased something, um, and she went in line, and it was a long line. It was like a bunch of people in front of me, so I couldn't really see what was going on. But she's doing the same thing up at the cash register. $10, $5, hello, and everyone's like, we don't know what you're talking about. She like quarter dollar, dollar, and we're like, are you looking for change, or like what's the deal? And she's just going off, and then of course it started turning into fights, and everyone's like, no one knows what you're talking about, like just leave. And people are like trying to call the cops, and and then she said something. I don't even know who said what first, and someone's like, go back to your country. And she went full, full Allah Akbar. And then I was like, oh shit. And then this other like black guy, like not American black, but like straight African, was like, you don't say that to her. And everyone was just going nuts. It's multicultural America. I mean, it's the circus in full display, and I got this on video. I mean, I got my phone out again. I'm not joining in on the ruckus. I may have my own feelings to the whole situation, but I'm like, I just took out my phone to show my friend, and I was like, it's just crazy. It's just another day in America with all the craziness, and everyone's going at it, and it's a circus, man. And that's what I'm bringing you today, the tales from the circus. And talking about the circus, I actually also went to the fair a couple weeks ago, and again, I mean, the situation. Um, Full of Indians, and then I mean a lot of Hispanics and Chinese and just about everything. Um, but the whole situation is it's just a good display, and what's the word I'm looking for? Like an analogy, or just of America. And now you have Trump saying he's letting in 600,000 more Chinese to come to school, and I never understood that whole situation in the first place. Um, do we benefit? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe we benefit in some great way from allowing people to come here and go to school. And it always surprises me when you hear like Kim Jong Il or Un or whatever it is, North Korean dictator, like went to um like European, I think European schools and American schools or whatnot like that. Like Osama bin Laden was like part of Harvard or something like that. And you always have these like, foreign people that always like embed themselves in American schools and stuff. And I'm like, is it any surprise? And then they were just doing a report about Chinese spies and stuff like that, and the Chinese police in New York, and the Chinese bio labs in California. But for some reason, Trump is, he's always for, um, he's hard on the southern border, but he's all for the legal immigration and the people coming in through H-1B visas or whatever like that. And it still, creates problems in America. But man, I'm just gonna, just do that quick rant with you. I just want to let you know about some of that craziness and let me know. I'm sure you've experienced some wild shit. As America rapidly changes and goes through its thing, and I left off that last video talking about the protest in Britain and all of Europe as a powder keg, ripe for civil war and revolutions. And that's part of the topics on this channel, the civil unrest to come and the societies and cultures clashing and societies breaking apart and all that. But yeah, man, I hope you all are chilling and taking it easy on this Labor Day, and do some barbecuing or something and spend time with family and have some fun. But till the next one, man, you know what it is. We are on our own. Nobody's coming to save us. So get right with God, because only God can save you. Freedom fighters out.